Guys, today we are making the cheesiest mac ever. It has 6 cups of cheese in it, and we're topping it with a homemade breadcrumb topping. It's gonna be killer. We've got 3 incredible cheeses. We've got the crazy amount of flavor from the Gruyere. It's like a little bit funky. We've got the sharpness from the cheddar and a ton of extra flavor from the Parm, super salty. So all together, it's gonna make the best mac. I've got a pot of water boiling, and I'm gonna salt it, and I've got a pound of elbows. You can obviously use whatever noodle you prefer, but elbow is the classic. According to the box, al dente is like 5 minutes. I'm gonna start checking a little sooner because we're baking this mac and cheese, so it's gonna cook in the oven, so we don't want mushy mac. Now we're gonna start making our cheese sauce. We've got a big old pot because we're adding a lot of milk. We've got butter, flour, some spices, seasonings, and of course our cheeses. The first step is making a roux. A roux is the base of a sauce or a thickening agent that is equal parts fat and flour. 1 stick of butter might sound like a lot of butter, but we're making a lot of mac and cheese, so don't worry about it. Also, mac and cheese isn't like health food. It's healthy for your soul.
Soul food.
It's soul food, obviously. It was right there in front of me. I think we can add our flour now. We're just cooking this for a minute or so just to get that raw flavor out of the flour. Keep an eye on this because it can burn. Now we can add our milk. 5 cups. We're gonna bring this up to a simmer and it'll thicken a bit. While it's doing that, we can add our spices, keeping it very simple with dried mustard powder, some salt, and lots of black pepper. I like my mac with a lot of black pepper, but you could do red chili flakes, sriracha, whatever you're into. Getting nice and thick now. It's about the thickness of like a white gravy. So I'm gonna turn off the heat because this mixture is plenty hot, and it's the perfect time to add our cheeses, starting with Gruyere. So now I can add our cheddar. Last one, Parm. This is gonna add like a lot of saltiness, which is great. An undersalted mac is a sad mac, in my opinion. Parmesan adds so many complex flavors. It's obviously such a delicious cheese, and it is so good in macaroni and cheese. This is truly therapeutic. This is like essentially how you would make like a queso for chips. You could eat it now. Part of me wants to eat it now, but I think we should add the macaroni. So now we're just gonna fold the cheese into the pasta. So I've got a 9x13 baking dish, and I'm just gonna pour our cheesy mac right into it. So what's mac and cheese without a breadcrumb topping? Here I have some very dry, very stale bread, which is the perfect thing to use to make breadcrumbs. I would suggest, if you're gonna go the store-bought route, which is totally cool, that you use panko. Panko is a Japanese style breadcrumb. It's really incredible stuff that is made actually by baking the bread using electricity instead of in an oven, which I just learned today and I think is fascinating. So when you bake the bread with electricity, there's absolutely no crust. They can grind up the whole loaf and it looks like this. And this just stays a lot crispier and absorbs a lot less fat and is just like all around better than your average breadcrumb. If you don't have stale, day-old bread, there's a really easy way to turn your bread into this rock-hard stuff, and that is to put it on a baking sheet in a 350-degree oven and bake it for like 15 minutes, and it'll dry out really fast. And then if you want to take it a step further, you can cool it on a drying rack, which will firm it up and dry it out even more. All right, so I grabbed a bowl. This is all good to go. This is about a cup. And then we've got a half a cup of Parm. I'm gonna do just a small amount of olive oil. This will just help with browning and obviously some good flavor. All right, so we're gonna put this on top of our mac. Just a nice even layer. We're ready to put this mac in the oven. Oh, it's so heavy. So we have a oven preheated at 350, and this is gonna go in for like 20, 25 minutes. until the top is golden and the cheese is bubbly. It's ready. Oh yeah. It smells so good. I'm just gonna hit it with some greens. It's parsley, just to give it the illusion of health. I cannot wait to eat this. The time has finally come. We can eat our mac and cheese, and I'm so stoked. It looks amazing. The top got a beautiful golden crust. All those cheeses that we put in there just melded into one delicious sauce, and it's super dimensional, tons of flavor. It's got crunch from the breadcrumbs. Homemade was a good call. The parm on top gives it that extra punch of salt. It's just out of this world. So good. I hope you make it because I guarantee you will love it.